Jello Beats, holla at me.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and another video. So like I said yesterday, I have some more footage from the SBS Conference, and today's footage is from Mike Zourdos and his chat on bodybuilding alterations to the concept of daily undulating periodization. Now, the talk was awesome. However, the majority of it was powerlifting related. And obviously my channel and what I'm about is primarily bodybuilding related. So luckily the last slide was obviously his alterations for a bodybuilding trainee. So he discusses essentially how there'd be more volume and how you can still undulate reps and sets across the course of a periodized program in order to match what we deem as daily undulating periodization. And if you want to know more about DUP and how you can utilize it in your training, essentially DUP is found in most programs. Most programs somewhat undulate in their intensities, volume across the course of an 8-week block. Most of them do. However, this concept is very much nailed, and he has a lot of things down in terms of numbers and intensities and volume. So it was an awesome talk. If you want to learn more about Mike, then obviously make sure to follow him. He's a little bit quiet on socials. However, he does put out some very good content when he's asked to be a guest on podcasts, etc. So I'll let you guys watch this. Thanks very much for watching. Any comments or feedback, obviously let me know. Cheers, guys.
It's not the focus, it's not what I'm teaching in the SBS Academy in terms of training for bodybuilding. However, a lot of us in here are interested in that. So I would be remiss if I didn't talk about how we could apply these concepts to them, right? I don't want you to leave here and think, that's cool, but I'm interested in training for these goals, so how do I apply it to that? Well, this concept does change. In this concept, you're doing this so you can peak strength at a time. It's not your goal in bodybuilding, right? I have the fortune, I mess with him a lot because it's easy, but I have the fortune of, while we're recording, to watch Eric's units in the SBS Academy. So while we were recording, he talked about how the goal isn't to peak strength. He talked about how the goal, right, is to be lean and look big on stage. So you're peaking, but this isn't a peaking strategy for that, right? That's not a peaking strategy for that. So how does this concept work? Well, you're still going to use volume blocks and intensity blocks, but your ratio of volume to intensity is going to be much higher in favor of volume. Much higher. You're not going to be doing a block where you're doing only singles to peak your strength. But that's not your goal, right? The ability to get stronger in bodybuilding, yeah, you can fatigue more motor units if you're lifting heavier loads. But if you get stronger, then when you go do your hypertrophy work, you can lift more weight. You can overload more. That's the goal of increasing strength, right? So obviously you're going to use more assistance work, more stuff like drop sets, supersets, and rest pause sets because it's practical for volume. But if we just take a look at 1 week, and now I know we're only looking at one exercise here. We're going to have a whole example block of looking at this concept later. So if you're like, this is cool, but I still don't know how to put everything together, we will get there. So if we take a look, right, across 3 days a week, we have a volume type day. And then here, forgetting the middle day, we have a strength type day. Now, this concept is kind of based on the daily undulating, not program, but periodization concept we talked about earlier, with hypertrophy, power, and strength. Make sense? Okay. Even in an intensity block, if I call this an intensity block for bodybuilding, I might run this for 3 to 4 weeks to help somebody really improve their strength here. But I'm not taking out all my volume work. Or I might decrease to a true intensity block for the main lifts. But on the 6 assistance exercises I do, I'm still training in the hypertrophy range. Because I want to improve that strength on the main lifts, let's say. But I'm not running true intensity all the time. Now in bodybuilding, you don't have to do the main lifts. Or you certainly don't have to do them as frequency. And you might do lower volume on just that lift because you have the assistance work to do it. So let's say you still wanted to squat 3 days per week though. Well, you could do that here, but the advantage of doing this power type training day in the middle of the week is not only because it intersperses this day and this day, but what does it allow you to do? It allows you to focus on the deadlift on that day. That's the advantage of that periodization type model, where you have the power day interspersed. It allows you to break up the hypertrophy and the strength, and for this bodybuilder still have his volume type day here. But hey, if you're going to deadlift after this, your deadlift is going to suffer, right? So this day, it allows you to bring that out front, maybe focus on back work that day, and then you can squat at the other ends of the week. And your deadlift frequency is probably lower than your squat frequency. I'd say for most it is. So you could deadlift here if you wanted to, and then get another day of light deadlifting. The point is that I bring that up because the concepts are never ending. They're never ending. You're going to go through this, and as you write training programs, you might go through 10, 15, 20 iterations of a program for somebody. Besides, you have to think about these concepts. How many times you get a client, you get a lifter, they want to work together, but I can only train Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. That's it. Okay, well, that's a lot of stuff packed in 3 days in a row, but that's their schedule. So you have to write things out. What do you have to do? You have to intersperse power days after hypertrophy days so you can make sure that they're recovering since they're training 3 days in a row. If you're doing a hypertrophy type day, right, you might do that for squat, but that also might be the bench power day. You can stagger what you're doing for the different muscle groups. Because if you're doing that after hypertrophy squats, 5 sets of 8, you're going to be pretty fatigued. So maybe that's a bench power day, and since they're training 3 days in a row, then on Sunday, the next day, you can actually train back-to-back on bench and do the hypertrophy day that day, because you're not going to be fatigued from that. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's conceptual, so conceptual, but you're going to have to figure those things out, because nothing is ever in a vacuum. If every client came to you and said, hey, I can train Monday through Saturday for 11 hours a day, okay, right? That's easy. When it gets hard to write programming is when you have restrictions.
Okay guys, that is it from Mike Zourdos. Thank you very much for watching the video. And like I said in the Eric Helms video, all credit goes to Shredded by Science for putting on this awesome day. And that is all the footage that I got. I got 2 clips. So one of Mike Zourdos and one of Eric Helms. 2 of probably the best talks that I thought was at the conference. Make sure you keep your eyes open for future conferences, and obviously when the Shredded by Science Academy does come out, if you are a personal trainer or wanting to be a personal trainer and want to be the best in your field, I think that that's a really worthwhile thing to sign up for. Thanks for watching guys. I'll be back with a normal video tomorrow. Hope you have a lovely day and we'll chat soon. Cheers guys.